The agreement on the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area offers our country, and indeed a number of other countries on the continent, great opportunities. But for us, it offers us, as South Africans, a path of investment-led trade, and it also offers the possibility to work with other countries to develop our own industrial capacity.
Since President Cyril Ramaphosa took over the highest office in the land, economic diplomacy has been one of his focal points. He has been a mediator in Lesotho as it been battling with political instability. Ramaphosa took the reins as the African Union chair and led the continental efforts in securing COVID-19 vaccines.
We are in the midst of the most serious public health emergency our world has experienced in over 100 years. Containing the coronavirus pandemic has dwarfed all other issues facing the international community and individual countries. The pandemic has profound social, political, economic, and security implications for all of us. It is impacting on human health, the economies of all affected countries, and the livelihoods of millions of people. Although the virus has affected both developed and developing countries, it is the poor who suffer the most.
As the multilateralism is under scrutiny, and South Africa, under Ramaphosa's administration, has been calling for the transformation of global institutions like the United Nations, Security Council, and other key global financial institutions. South Africa also hosted the BRICS summits, where a number of important decisions were adopted as the influential bloc expanded.
BRICS also stands for sustainable development. We are an inclusive formation of developing and emerging economies that are seeking to work together to benefit from our rich histories, our rich cultures, and systems to advance the prosperity of the peoples of our countries. We do so because we know that poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment are the biggest challenges facing humanity. We are therefore determined that the BRICS partnership, which has been growing in importance and influence over the years, must be harnessed to drive an inclusive global economic recovery.
Ramaphosa has represented the country in global summits like the G7, as South Africa has positioned itself as one of the central players in Global South. As the conflict continues in Ukraine, Ramaphosa led African Leaders Initiative meant to push for diplomacy among the warring parties.
The impact that it has had is that, one, we were listened to as we gave an African perspective on the war that's having negative consequences for our continent. And secondly, we probably the only group that has engaged the two leaders within a short space of time to put forward a very strong proposal and view that the war must end. But we also accompanied that broad proposal with a number of elements which have to do with the recognition of the sovereignty of countries in terms of the UN Charter. That we put forward unambiguously, and we spoke about the de-escalation of the conflict.
Meanwhile, the International Court of Justice has ruled in South Africa's favor as it accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. The World Court wants Israel to prevent any acts of genocide and protect civilians.
The International Court of Justice in The Hague in the Netherlands issued a ruling that is a victory for international law, for human rights, and above all, for justice. This follows the unprecedented action taken by South Africa to take another country to the International Court. On the 29th of December 2023, South Africa filed an application instituting proceedings against the State of Israel for the violence it has unleashed on the people of the Gaza Strip, arguing that Israel was in breach of its obligations under the convention. South Africa had earlier condemned the 7th October 2023 attack by Hamas.
As the conflict continues in the Middle East, the president has warned of pushback, but to remain steadfast that South Africa has chosen the right side of history. Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.